woman who I have known for several years. I've had the blessings of being featured in her magazine, and she's just helped us in so many unique and amazing ways. Please join us in welcoming the incredible Sheila Kramer with Lake Mary Life Magazine. Thank you so much, Sheila, for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Okay, tell everybody a little bit about who you are and about your company and what you do.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year to everyone. I'm Sheila Kramer, and I'm the publisher of Lake Mary Life, Altamont Springs, we just changed that name, Altamont Wekiva Springs Life, and Oviedo Winter Springs Life magazines. There are 3 lifestyle magazines for Seminole County. We provide good news for people, 65,000 people in our county.
That's awesome. And you know, some of you may be watching and wondering, well, why am I hearing from somebody in Seminole County that runs a magazine company that I can't advertise there or have no desire to advertise there because I'm in Texas? You know, if you're watching right now, tune in, because there's a specific reason why I asked Sheila to be on the show today. She has built an amazing, unbelievable, powerful business in 10 short years and through a recession, which is amazing. So before we talk a little bit about your publication and some business building tips, because that's why you're here today. Right. Can you tell everybody a little bit about, in 10 years, you've grown from what size to what size?
Okay.
And then maybe to share with them a little bit of some of the awards that you've won in our community.
Okay. First of all, I have to disagree. Anyone can advertise, even if they're in Texas. We started in 2003 with a small publication that we did on our own. We found printers, we found the right paper. We had other samples that we looked at, but we did everything ourselves. This magazine is 24 pages, and we were able to support it on its own because we lived in the community and we knew lots of people, and so people were encouraging us. We had our friends and people that we did business with who supported us with advertising. We wrote the articles ourselves. I was a graphic designer, a very low-level graphic designer that anyone can see by looking at this. But my husband and I really built this magazine together. He had an accounting background, a writing background, an editing background. I was a teacher. So together we started this one magazine. And there was something about it that really hit in the community. They really, really took to it. The first one was 24 pages. The second one was 36. The third one was 42. By the time it got to be 2008, we were probably at 164 pages.
Wow. Which
is the largest magazine in Central Florida.
Absolutely.
And it was just in our one little town. And it was a remarkable thing. It was something that just people related to.
Okay, and from a small business, because I know you started in your home.
We did.
You grew further than that, and you continued to grow. You're no longer in your home, and you're $1 million business.
Right.
Who have won many awards across, in our community.
Right.
You grew from that to this. What are some choices that business owners have to make to go from one level to the next?
Well, first of all, I think that there are 2 ways that you can start a business. Mm-hmm. You can, if you have the money, that's great. You can borrow money if it's available to you, or you can start really small and let your business grow and pay for itself. And that's what we did. We took, I think we started with $3,000, and we started a bank account, and the first issue, we were able to pay ourselves back and pay all the bills. And then, because we had a product, then we were able to go out and sell more advertising, and as we grew, we only grew based on the advertising sales. There are other magazines which can be translated to other businesses that start out huge. They have big parties to launch a publication. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of successful magazines started that way, but they also started with hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we started with 3 and paid ourselves back. So that's really the difference.
I think that's huge because all too often, I meet members, whether they're starting a magazine company or they're starting an accounting firm, that they have money stop them from reaching their goals. Mm-hmm. Because you can't get lending like you used to be able to get. You may not have credit like you used to be able to have. So what are some of the ways that you made decisions? How did you prioritize? Okay, now it's time to take on this. And when did you know it was time to move out of your house? Like, How do you reach those levels and those goals?
Well, for us, the first thing was we grew based on our income. We never increased the size of the magazine unless the bills were being paid. and that was really important. We worked out of our home while it was just us, and then our daughter came in and she helped us, and that was fine. When we started hiring administrative people, when we had the absolute joy of hiring a graphic artist who could really make the magazines beautiful, then it got to the point where it wasn't fair to them. And at the same time, while it's great to be able to have your own company, if you do it out of your home, you never get a day off. Mm-hmm. We were always answering the phone, always answering email. We still do that now, but we have to, we really have to
it's easier to walk away.
Right,
yeah.
we can leave the office and go home. Yeah, we answer email, but we don't have phones ringing, we don't have people coming in and out of our home. So it was a tremendous jump for us. But in 1 year, we went from winning the Seminole County Chamber of Commerce home-based business, Best Home-Based Business Award. The next year, we didn't qualify for that again. So we were the family-based business. So for 2 years in a row, we're the only company in Seminole County that has been named Best Small Business of the Year 2 years in a row. We also, last year, were honored in Tampa with the state education department giving us an award for the promotions that we've done and the help that we've given to Seminole County Public Schools.
Let's stop and talk about that for just a minute, because last month we did take a moment to talk about cause marketing and how cause marketing can help your business. You know, winning awards can be important for some people because it helps validate who they are and what they're doing, and a lot of people need that kind of recognition. But it also is good because it helps your company in your marketing efforts. People, you said before the show, you said people like to do business with people that are good people, that are genuinely good people. Part of your success comes from the fact that you put the spotlight on those good people. How have you felt from a business perspective, your affiliation with nonprofits and with schools have helped the publication itself, have helped you build $1 million a year business?
It's a very, very heartwarming feeling to know that through the success that we've had, we've been able to shine a light. When I get a phone call from the head of the Guardian Ad Litem program, and she tells me that an article that we did resulted in them getting more Guardian Ad Litem volunteers than ever before, that makes all of the 12-hour and 15-hour days absolutely worthwhile. When it's the 25th anniversary of the Sharing Center that does such amazing work in our community, and we're able to put the people who built it on the cover and give them the recognition that they deserve for their great work. It's a wonderful thing for us because we love to do that. It's wonderful for them, and it makes people know where our heart is. Absolutely. And that people know that if they come to us, people are interested and their ad's going to be seen.
Absolutely. I think that that's so important, and I am so glad that you said that, because I think when we talk about WOAMTEC, the Women on a Mission to Earn Commission, some people know that the commission is really not revenue generating commissions, it's the greater commissions in life. It's helping other people, giving back to the community, really making a difference in the lives of others. And you've heard me say before that when you put into the lives of others, it always comes back to you. Everybody wears a sign that says "Make me feel special," and I truly believe that that's the best part of your business model. And you may not even realize it going into it that you really, people are excited about getting the magazine. People are excited about being in it. I've had business people in our community say, my goal in life is to make it in your publication. And that's pretty cool, knowing that you're making a difference, but you're also giving people the passion to make a difference, partially just maybe to hopefully get the recognition from it, right, from that, which is important. So what are some of the biggest business blunders that you have made?
Boy.
And can you give our viewers any tips on how not to make those blunders?
Well, we really haven't made too many. Good. I have to be honest, that was a good thing. We probably have had some mistakes. One of the things that we've learned is never hire anyone you can't fire. That's a motto that you should really remember if you have your own business. A lot of small businesses, I think, they start doing everything themselves, they bring in family members, and then they ask their friends to help. Mm-hmm. And once you involve friends, then what's more important, your business relationship or your friendship?
Absolutely.
And it's always going to be the friendship. And the business relationship, if it doesn't work, could ruin the friendship. And that's not a good thing. I
think that's a great, great tip, because that is so, so important. And just so you know, Jeff Hawkins, I can fire you. He's Jeff and Tanya over there. But it is true, because you start making emotional decisions instead of logical decisions. And that not only affects the success of your business, but it will affect the energy level in the work environment, in the workplace, which will affect the productivity of your business too,
right,
which is important.
Right.
Now, you mentioned in the beginning making the decision of growing, and never taking on something new. What do you say about like how did you continue to grow if you didn't have the money to, like, how much did you reinvest? When did you decide, okay, it's time to reinvest it? I know your husband has an accounting background, so Michael, you should probably be here to answer this question. When did you decide that, yes, now this is the investment for our company? Did you set goals? Did you?
The truth is, we never had to invest more money. The company always was self-sustaining. We were in a pretty unique situation. We decided that we were making enough money with Lake Mary Life that we were going to expand. And so we went to see the mayor in the next town, and we said to him, we'd like to come in. And there was another magazine next to him, in the town next to him. Well, the person who had the magazine in Oviedo heard that we were talking about going into Winter Springs. And she said to herself, I want to go into Winter Springs too. So she did the absolute right thing. Instead of going head to head, she called us and we got together for coffee. And we noticed right away that we had this wonderful relationship and we had the same mission. And so we joined together. And her magazine was a little digest, 5x8, and she wanted to be big and beautiful like Lake Mary Life. And so together we grew her business. She has her office out of her home. She has a staff over there. We do all of the work for her. The part that she doesn't like to do,
right?
We do that for her in our central office with our administrative staff. Our graphic designer helps her, and together we just soared.
I think that's awesome, and I'm so glad you said that as well, because I just talked to somebody yesterday who was in a business, and I was encouraging her to connect with another person in the same field, and she said, well, we're kind of funny about that, we kind of view each other as competition. And I'm like, well, you're a woman, they're a man. It was actually the massage industry. And I said, there's a lot of people that won't go to a woman, there's a lot of people that won't go to a man, and there's a way that you can strategically work together. And until you're booked 7 or 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's a way that you can work together and still protect your brand and still protect your business. So don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I want to work with you, or how can we help each other? And you did that for us when Confident Woman magazine first came out. And you said, let's talk about this. I want to help you, Kathleen. And you did. You helped me by reminding me that I didn't want to be in the magazine industry, which I think is really important.
Right.
Not that you were negative in any way. Now tell me a little bit more about your customers, and how do you make them a priority? How do you fight the battles that you may have with them? What is your view on customer relations?
Well, that's key. Customer relations is really, really important. One thing that we do that I don't think anybody else in Central Florida, I can't speak to what's going on in Texas, but in Central Florida, the competition for print advertising money is very, very tight. We are 100% consistent. We might have friends that advertise. We might have people who've been with us for a long time. We don't cut deals because you can't have somebody. We live in the community. We all live in our community. We actually have 3 magazines, the third one being in Altamont Springs, that has their own community that runs it. But we are all living in our community, and we have to be fair. So people know that it's very important to every one of our advertisers that they're treated fairly. They're placed in the magazine based on a rotation. They're not all paying the same exact price, because some may have been with us for 10 years and some may have just joined. And so we certainly don't raise rates, especially after the recession, or during the recession we didn't raise rates. But we treat our customers as fairly as we possibly can. We know that they are our priority, but we also recognize that we are not their priority.
Right.
They have a business to run. And so if we need the copy right away, we respect their time, and we wait and try to give them as much lead time as they need. We do more proofreading, I think, than anybody else. You're always going to find a mistake. But for example, when we get a new ad, even if it's submitted to us by an advertising agency, I can't tell you how many times the phone number is wrong. So part of our proofing process is that even when we get in a new ad, we call the phone to make sure that the phone number is right. And just as an aside, it's not only that we're checking the number, it's getting the message to our advertisers that we really care that they're going to be successful.
I think that's important because so many people feel as though it's just all about, the what's in it for me mentality, and it's all of those little things. We had a magazine that actually ran a full page ad that we spent thousands of dollars on, and it had an incorrect phone number, and it was a cycle that lasted for a long time. And I think we were so wrapped up in the design that was a detail because we had submitted the detail correct. That was a detail that it passed us. It was, we didn't check it correctly. So I love that, and I love your customer focus, your community focus, everything about what you do as far as your business is concerned. And it's really your heart. And if you can see anything in this interview, I really want to really express that the Kramers do have hearts of joy, and you're sincere, and in the community knows that you care. And that's how you build that community brand. That's how you build that business is not just superficially caring, but legitimately caring. And that's why you have $1 million business. So thank you for sharing. You're amazing. Everything you do is amazing. The last thing that I really want to just focus on is you have a habit. No, you have a unique way, and I'm just saying from what I've observed on the outside, I could be incredibly wrong, but I think you're brilliant about strategic connections. That could be a lot to do with just the fact that you emphasize the people in the community, and the people that are in the community that are being emphasized are movers and shakers and making a difference. But you also really develop, you've always made Jeff and I feel very important, even when we didn't have a reason. Well, even when we didn't have it was like, why is she being this nice to us? But how do you hone in, and how can you suggest to other members that are out there that may not have a publication, but maybe want to be the CPA in their community, or I don't know, the personal trainer in their community where they have those connections. What do you give people from a business perspective? What is the focus and the reason why you identify key people and then you continue to cultivate and build that relationship with them?
I think it sounds very simple, but I think the most important thing is to treat every person you come across the way that you would want them to treat you. And we do, whether you are the president of Progress Energy and I want you to buy a 2-page spread, or you are a carpenter and we want to help you build your business, and you maybe can afford to scrape together enough money to be a 1/6 of a page ad. We treat everyone with dignity and we try to help them. We make connections. I also have a tremendous respect for our sales representative in Lake Mary, Penny O'Connell, and anyone in Central Florida knows who Penny is. That's her gift. She is somebody who just wants to help. And sometimes I have to take back a little bit and say, Penny, this is wonderful that you're doing this, but you really have to go out and sell some more ads. But her goal is to help, and it doesn't matter whether she sees that they're going to be running a large ad or a small ad, or whether they're ever going to be advertising. If they have a story, she'll bring us stories that she wants us to share. And so that, I think, comes from her goodness, and we trade back and forth on that, because I have a tremendous respect for her, and I believe she has that for me too.
I believe so too, and I have met her, and she's a dynamic person. I think that just summed it up perfectly, because as we talk about what you put into the lives of others, it always comes back to you.